أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This week, the thought which we watch to reflect upon comes to us from the noble prophet of Islam, Muhammad. May God's peace and blessings be upon him and his family. And in this tradition, he points us to a very stark reality of life, which is that we should always be careful of every step that we take in this world. He shows us the reality that we don't know when death will come upon us. We don't know in what state we will encounter death. We don't know will we be in a state of obedience or transgression to God's rules when we leave this world. And so therefore he advises us to be very careful and to base our lives upon this precautionary measure of ensuring that we don't take the life of this world for granted. That we ensure that every action that we perform is in line with the teachings of Islam, because again, we don't know when our time will come. In this particular tradition which we want to reflect upon today, let us see what the Prophet has to say and to better understand his beautiful message to us. He says the following: Verily, a man may carry out the actions of the people of paradise for a long period of time, but end his life with the actions of the people of the hellfire. The tradition is very blunt, the way the Prophet speaks, and it is something for each and every one of us, present company included, to sincerely reflect on our lives on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure we've seen many people within our own lifetime. We've seen people who have been very pious from the time they became of the age of maturity. They never missed a prayer. They performed all of their obligations. Maybe they went for the Hajj pilgrimage. They give charity. They're good to their family, to their parents, to their neighbors. They fulfill all of the rights of Islam. However, when they're on their deathbed, or maybe just before that point, before the transition from this world to the next, that they begin to waver in their faith. They begin to question maybe the existence of God. They begin to question why God has put them in such a predicament. For example, if they're facing any kind of difficulty, maybe in a hospital bed, maybe they are in a serious accident before they leave this world. And maybe they were questioning why God would do something to them like this after a lifetime of worship. The hadith clearly tells us that many times people may spend an entire life and you look at them and you think, man, this guy is definitely going to heaven. He or she does actions which are completely in line with the religious teachings. But when death comes, and it will come for each and every one of us, we don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know where. We don't know any of these questions about what will happen. At that point, they begin to waver in their faith. They begin to act in a way as if they completely left the religion, as if they completely forgot everything they had worked for over the last years of their life. And so the Prophet reminds us that our life, the value of the life really is not only where we began, but it's where we end up. Our life, the importance of it, the value of life is not where we only begin, it's where we end off. And if we want to ensure a good world to come in the world after this world, we have to ensure we are continuously on the path of goodness. It's not enough to do a good act and then you leave that and you go towards the path of iniquity. The goodness must continue in our lives. We must continue until we leave this world to be those who are performing acts of goodness, acts of kindness, acts of submission to our Creator. We hope and we pray that each and every one of us is able to start this new week with such a beautiful outlook on life, and that we work each and every day as if it was our last, and that we do our best that when we leave this world, that we leave it as those who are actually on the path of paradise, on the path of earning the felicity and the good tidings of the blessed world to come. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.